And we're on.
Word.
All
What's
right.
going on, everybody? This is Arye the King.
I'm G the Bearded One.
This is Geek Salad Live, man. Geek Salad Live. Today we are joined by a very lovely guest, the entrepreneur. She wears a lot of hats, y'all. She's an entrepreneur,
Including this one.
real estate investor,
Mm.
Magician. What else? What else? A lot of different stuff. A lot of
Content
different
creator,
stuff.
designer,
Creator.
dope in a can. You know what I'm saying?
All of that.
Dope in a
above,
can.
Dope in
Oh,
a
don't
can.
say words around me. It could become a t-shirt, G.
Listen, Max of Buymartian. Thank you for being here, lady. Thank you. Appreciate you.
For sure. I appreciate being on the show this morning.
Absolutely.
There we go.
Absolutely. We're gonna be talking about a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
A lot of stuff. Puffy's in the headlines, G. Puffy is in the
Yeah.
headlines. For those of y'all who don't know, he just settled with Cassie. Allegations out. We don't know what's true. We don't know what's false. We'll let that play out, but we will definitely talk about it because we chatty patties. Definitely gonna touch on the Marvels. I got a chance to see it when it first dropped.
Mhm.
I'm gonna let y'all know my thoughts on that. But also the overall Marvel landscape. What's going on with that? The good, the bad, the ugly, all the in between, all of that good stuff. And G, do got anything else? I think that's about it.
That's about, and of course, we're going
Loaded topics.
you
Oh yeah,
know,
we're
you
gonna
know,
get
we're
in.
gonna-
We're gonna get into Max.
Oh.
We're gonna get into Max. That's
you know what makes her
said it
tick
like that.
every day.
That's-
You know what I'm
that's-
saying?
that's-
Not TikTok and I got a clock behind me. Did you just say that off GP?
Yeah,
or
you know,
did you try to
intended.
grab things
Oh,
out?
Unintended, all attended. Yes. Yes. Visual aid.
Okay,
right
G.
there.
That's how you do it, man. That's how you do it.
But before we get started, we was talking earlier before the live started. Maxine was supposed to do some work last night.
I was.
Into a trap. What was that trap last night?
Family Guy.
Mm.
I have seen all the Family Guy episodes, including the newest ones. And I still just, every time I finish, I be like, oh, I'm done. I go all the way back to the first one and just start all over again. I don't know. I'm addicted to Family Guy. And yes, for everybody that wants to say, oh, but The Simpsons started it all. They started my love for this dry humor with the cutaways.
Mm-hmm.
However, Family Guy picked up where they left off. I can't even get into The Simpsons anymore. I can't, even though it's the original.
Yeah.
So yes, that's my favorite rabbit hole. And then like social media, Instagram word posts. I'd be like, oh, this me. Oh, this me. If you ever on my stories, you're gonna see me say #me shit. Cause I can't, I'd be like, oh, you feel so seen on Instagram. It's almost uncanny. It's like they tapped into you and they tapped into a wire in your head and they just keep presenting yourself to yourself.
Right.
It's almost narcissistic.
Almost.
So yeah.
It's definitely narcissistic.
Okay.
Embrace the narcissism. You know what I'm saying?
Embrace
Just
the dark side of narcissism.
Embrace the
Yes.
meanness.
Yes.
Do
Love
it.
me some me.
Do it.
Love me some me. Yo, yeah, I agree with you. I can't watch The Simpsons now, especially the newer episodes. My sweet spot with The Simpsons is like the first couple seasons up until like season
6,
8.
7.
You got to go back to the 90s.
Golden, man.
You got to go back to the 90s for that. New episodes.
Definitely, I'm gonna try to go
Don't
back
hit
and
the thing.
see, and then I'll give you my opinion.
Yeah. But
They don't hit the
Quietest Cup, the last 2 seasons were actually funny again. I don't know who you got in the back room writing, but they on this shit right now. So check out the last 2 seasons at least. But Arye, what's your rabbit rabbit hole?
Not rapper holes.
I love the off-camera situations that turn into an on-camera sneak diss.
It did. Like, it really. We're gonna bring it up.
I see it.
We're gonna bring it up.
Okay.
Definitely gonna bring it up. It's probably The Office for me, because so she was talking about how she's seen every episode of Family Guy. I've seen every episode of The Office like 5 times. So it's the perfect show you can just put on in the background, something quick when you eating food. You don't gotta pay attention to every little thing and have to rewind. Oh, I missed something. I gotta go back. Nah, it's you already know what's gonna happen. I could be on my phone, half watching TV, half on my phone, half eating whatever I'm eating, and it's perfect.
Okay, I got you. I got 2. One of them was introduced to me. Yes, I'm a hope for shit like that. TikTok kind of spoiled me with Dr. Pimple Popper. the most.
Oh my gosh, I do be watching those
them,
poppins.
I hate them, but I do watch it sometimes.
I hate when they have it and you like really want to know the outcome and they be like, boom, it just go. You be like, wait a minute, I was so invested in this situation.
Yeah, but man, like she is a wizard with them tweezers, man. I'm like what's? It's just fascinating. Like the type of shit that's like in our faces. It could be black, it could be blue, it could be green.
I want to exfoliate right now. Right now, I just want to hit this on the strip of that statement.
So that one for sure. I can just do the skits all day. But also, there's this guy on YouTube. He goes by Skeeter John. So what he does, he's a brother that impersonates Chris Hansen with the How to Catch a Predator, right? But he does the same thing where he invites Chesters over to a crib, and the girl who is on the phone acting like a 14-year-old, 13, whatever, right? They come over to the crib, and she's like 31, but the Chesters are saying you look like you're about 31, but they still think that she's like 14. And this is one episode where somebody comes over, they get caught. He comes up, sit down. Please have a seat. There's a whole Hanson thing, right? But he says, hey, you came over to play some games, right? So if you beat me in Mortal Kombat, I won't call the cops on you. So they in the crib playing Mortal Kombat for like rounds and rounds and rounds.
This is such a twist. This is such a twist.
The whole time, Skeeter was like, you can't beat me with Scorpion now. Get Sub-Zero. Try this.
So wait, is it real or is it like a skit?
It's real. It's real, man.
What?
It's real, dog.
So has anyone ever beat him? And then he was like, I can't call the cops because I'm a man about my word?
Nah.
Because he chose the game that he chose a game that he will always win.
No, because before old boy comes in, like he's giving his commentary from like that Baron who was like, look at him. Look at the way he holds the sticks. He just pressing buttons.
It's crazy because it's such a serious topic. Yeah. But it's so comedic at the same time. How are your emotions handling that? It's so much. It's so much convolution.
Right. So by
emotional
the end of the
chaos
episode,
watching that.
Yeah, I mean, because every episode is them catching a Chester, and they show them the text, like you say you want to do X, Y, and Z, and they take the information to the cop. Now sometimes the cops come over, get them handcuffed, depends on how like severe the case is. But other times it's hilarious. Like one dude came over, he was an old man that's a contractor, and Skip was saying, so I need my kitchen redone. And they're talking about the prices. You're like, oh, by the way, were you trying to do X, Y, and Z to my cousin? Showing the text, right? So the grandpa was saying, like, hey, I ain't do it. Like, well, this is your phone number, right? I didn't type it in. I was like, all right. So grandpa, how about if you do my kitchen for free? I won't tell nobody.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
It's right here. Like, I need my process done and everything. So the grandpa was like, but can we do maybe half off and you take away the cameras? I was like, I want a free remodel done in my kitchen. I mean, dog, it is hilarious. Rabbit.
Oh my gosh. I feel like you get super stuck in there. I feel like it's nighttime and then you look at your window and you like, oh, God has shined the daylight on me. Like, I feel like that's how long you get stuck in that rabbit hole. Also, your use of the word Chester is how I also describe it. Cool points for you, G.
Well, thank you. You can, YouTube is quick.
I knew exactly what you were talking about. I was like, did he say Chester? Let me stay in. Let me get into this rabbit hole, this verbal rabbit hole, and make sure I'm on the same page before I say the wrong thing on the live.
And what's wild about this show was that once these men talk to the supposed young girl, they're looking at her and saying, you look like you're about 28. Like, you don't look 14. But they want to believe so much that she is underage. It's like
that's why the predatory nature of people out there. That's a whole nother topic for another day.
Yo, it's like it's so.
Well, I actually know it's today's topic. Hello, P Diddy.
There we go. Perfect segue, y'all.
Oh, that was a perfect segue. I was like, yo, it's so funny but so sad at the same time. It's like, yo, I'm gonna have to catch that show.
Yeah,
it's funny. I thought you was gonna go a different place with it when you said that it was something like the Chris Hansen undercover joints. Right. I thought it was gonna be like the dude comes over the house, then the girl pop out. She like 35, And when he see that she 35, like, well, I thought you were 14. And she was gonna be like, nah, do all that stuff, keep the same energy.
Keep that same
we about to do everything. You said, look, you said you was gonna do A, B, and C to me. We gonna do it. And like it's like
it's the opposite though. They're like, you're 35, but nah, you can't be. You're 14. You're 14.
Niggas want to believe what they want to believe. That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
But as we said, Martian done gave us the perfect alley oop into one of today's main topics. It's the gunshot heard around the world and back. That we talking about Brother Love, aka Puff Daddy. Whew. Can somebody? Well, I'll let REA lead this. That has a different feeling now. You know what I'm saying? Damn, yeah. It was dirty now. You know what I'm saying?
So allegedly, Puff has been accused of doing some heinous activities. Cassie came out. For those of y'all who don't know, Cassie and Puff, they dated for like damn near 10 years. Something crazy like that. It was a while that they were dating. It just broke up, I want to say 2018. And she's brought a lawsuit against Puff. She's claiming, amongst other things, that Puff got her addicted to drugs.
Great.
Forced her to have sex with male prostitutes. Great. Gotta say great because we don't want them to shut us down. Raped her.
I was wondering why he said that. Okay, I'm learning.
Yeah, great. Yeah. A lot of other stuff that he's been accused of. And she was suing Puff for $30 million. And this was like maybe Wednesday, Thursday-ish. Fast forward 24. Less than 48 hours later, the lawsuit is settled by Mr. Brother Love himself. So the question becomes, what of the stuff that Cassie was claiming that Diddy did, try saying that 5 times fast, did Diddy actually do? And that's where we at right now. Because the way that it looks on the surface,
I'm ahead of the game.
Yeah, the way it looks on the surface, for you to settle something in record time where millions of dollars is at stake, and I'm sure the settlement came with an NDA, so she wouldn't, blow the whistle anymore. How much of it is true? And that's the question I pose to y'all.
I feel like you're gonna make them wait until the end for us to get into that topic.
We know what. Look, we know what 50 Cent thinks. 50 cannot stand Diddy. 50 was on him Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Pause.
And
he did that shit?
Yeah.
I think he did it, man. I gotta be honest. We don't know. We won't let the legal system and all that play out.
Make the decision, but we're gonna talk about it today.
Oh, we definitely gonna talk about it. I think. Let me tell you why I think that Diddy has something to do with it. Either did everything that she said, or at least some of the stuff. Any interview you watch of Diddy, right? And I'm always weary when people do this. In an interview, if everything out their mouth is, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to spread love and spread positivity. You know what I'm saying? Everything that Diddy puts out is that. I'm just thinking to myself, nah, because you fought J. Cole, my nigga.
Nah,
you fought J. Cole. Who fights J. Cole? J. Cole.
I saw some where he bombed, is it Kid Cudi's car or something? Did I read that correctly?
He blew up Kid Cudi car. That's some mafia type stuff. Who is this?
Who do you think you are?
A real live supervillain from a Marvel
that's not love
movie. Like
that's fake love.
Sure ain't.
Supposedly, and this is something else. We don't know how true it is. Supposedly, he was holding Wale over the ledge. Wale.
Oh no, not is it 5 Heartbeats? That like how Red had Red that had to do the
office hours.
Between. Who got the rip on the inside of the seam of the pants?
Oh man,
Diddy is a whole supervillain in these streets, man. What you think, G?
Listen, man, it's heavy. It's pearls. I mean, clutch all my pearls. You know what I'm saying? Just listen, man. If Puff has truly done these despicable, diabolical things,
dastardly,
this week, Cassie.
He's exactly.
the scumbag of the scumbags. Like, this is almost like damn near like what's the dude that got put away? The main dude ahead of the Me Too movement.
Weinstein.
Weinstein. I know it was a Stein something.
Yeah. It's
one of those Jewish names. It was Jewish.
I didn't say it. You did.
No,
you did. I ain't going out.
I saw it in your eye.
I ain't going out. You know what I'm saying?
You can't see my eyes.
You're gonna be canceled one day. Canceled. She said it was a Jewish last name.
Yeah, but I mean, yo, man, it's to even think that he has done even half of what she is alleging. It's still some horrible shit, man. It's like kind of like what you were saying. This whole vibe that Puff has been giving off over the past few years since the name change to Brother Love. I always felt as if that it was a way to maybe atone to what he has done in the past 20, 30 years, whatever. He's now trying to make sense of it, but I think the evil shit that's not caught up to him in the means of having bans on top of bans being given away so quickly. I mean, look, man, Cassie is a strong woman for putting herself out there like that and said like, yo, Puff is on some bullshit, and it's time for me to get over my trauma. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a lot. It is a lot. But I do want to know, how will this affect his legacy, or how many more people may come out from the woodworks about this? So,
it smells Cosby-esque to me. I feel like I was looking at how quickly this went down, right?
Right.
And I said to myself, of course, the community is going to have all the commentary, and they like, she just did it for the money. What happened for the voice of other people? I said, one, I don't know what kind of money she has, and especially if she was in a situation where she was basically like a concubine type of slave situation. She probably didn't really have her own money. So at least she's getting the money that she's owed from being in this relationship for so long.
Right.
But she truly did open the door and give confidence, even if it might be a few people who may come in with dishonesty. They like, this might be a come up. There are people that I definitely, in my opinion, feel were affected by him. Not even looking at interviews, because I don't pay attention to him that much. To be honest with you, I didn't even know he had changed his name to Brother Love. It don't even make sense to me, because I always associate Brotherly Love with Philly. You from New York, my dude. But I feel like I have never looked at him as someone that was trustworthy. Look at how he treated people in what was the reality TV show Making of the Band?
All the girls. What's their name?
Danity Kane.
Danity Kane. Yep. And
but no, even before them, what was the group where it was like Dylon? What was that? Was that just a different season?
That was Making the Band. That was the name, right?
Yeah, that was also Making the Band.
But before Danity Kane, it was the joint Dylon was in. I think the name was the band. I don't remember what I don't remember what their name was.
Yeah.
But just look at the stuff that he would have them do. That goes beyond. This don't have nothing to do with being in a band. You're just being sadistic at this point. He has put himself out there as a person, maybe in a more sugar cookie, calmer way, as a person that he thinks like this. Who thinks about go all the way over to this bridge? I'm not familiar with all this parts of New York. Go to the Brooklyn Bridge, go to this one place to get a cheesecake, get me a cupcake. Like, who forces people to do that with the dangerous world that even we were living in then? And they were, because, everyone looked young. I don't know what everyone's age, but for a long time, even when I was younger, looking at, what was her song? Me and You or something, Cassie? I'm looking at her like she looks like a 10-year-old,
a baby
with hardly any clothes on, very seductive. And I get that that's kind of like how in that era with the Britney Spears and the Christina Aguileras and stuff, people were being presented. And so there are more people that made that decision than Puff. But when they were in a relationship, I'm like, you had your girl out here, you're pimping her, essentially. And then it turns out behind closed doors, that may be true. You get what I'm saying? Put it this way. When it came out, literally the people I was talking to about it, we all said, it's believable. And if I can say it's believable,
about that too, G.
If I can say it's believable, then in all honesty, it probably is going to have a lot of truth, not just a lot of truth, because then it started making me think of little whispers of things that I hadn't really paid attention to, because I, again, don't pay attention to him like this. So, like, for example, I want to say it was Young Jock don't hold me on the year, go do your Google searches and stuff, but say around 2018, whatever time it couldn't have been 2019. She said they broke up in 2018. It might have been 2009. Remember when she shaved one side of her head?
Yeah.
And I thought she looked fly, looked edgy, et cetera, et cetera. But it seemed like the way that came up, there was a Blanquita that Puffy has seen, and he was like, "Oh, that's fly, Cassie, you should do that." And Young Jock was like, I had never seen anyone react to it because she was agreeable. When he said agreeable, I was like, okay, well, she was like, all right, daddy, you know what I'm saying? I do look fly, I might do that. But her response was not like that. It was anything that Puffy wants me to do, or whatever his name was in 2009, I'm going to do it. And Young Jock and his wife just kind of looked at Puffy and Cassie like, what kind of buttery bullshit is going on over here? Right. And it's other stories, other celebrities. What is it? Orlando, I always mess them up. Orlando Brown, whichever one was on That's So Raven, the one that's kind of local. Yeah, but I always tell people, don't just scoop local people out like they don't ever know what they're talking about. And he says some stuff that very much hinted to things like this. And then with him being a child star and Cassie being can y'all see me? Because you guys disappeared.
Yeah, we can see you.
Okay, well, I don't know what happened on my end. Oh, there we go. With them both being young, I was just thinking to myself, this feels so predatory. Because even if they were of age to be in certain environments, they don't look 35 years old. They look like the 14 and the 15-year-olds. And I think that, in all honesty, along with all that I just said and the fact that it was cleaned up real quick with money, what are you hiding? And just know that you're not going to be able to hide it no more.
That's the thing.
You get what I'm saying? Those are my 33 cents on that.
There's so much that with this coming out, it's like it starts to bring back all the other stories that you've heard about Puff. Like now I'm thinking, because supposedly Puff, and it's on him if he wants to come out. His sexuality is his business, but
yeah, of course,
Puffy is bisexual. He, like, I'll put it like this: if I had to put money on it, I would say he's bisexual. And I say that because of all the rumors. I say that because of supposedly, from what Cassie said, he forced her to have sex with male prostitutes. Anything. I don't know why I know this. I probably know this from watching what was all those HBO shows that was out when we was kids, like
Real Sex?
Real Sex.
Taxi Cab Confession?
Taxi Cab Confession. Male prostitutes.
Why do we all know this and we don't know each other?
Listen.
Oh, I know,
I was a curious 11-year-old.
Why are we children watching this? What's wrong with us?
Why was we watching that?
Exactly.
If you're like me, you had insomnia, and I was just like, well, nobody's up to talk to me. What's on TV? All the wrong stuff. That's, again, another topic for another day.
We're just going to put it like, I was just nasty, young, and curious. That's what... Had to have like ESPN or Nickelodeon on the back button.
Rolling.
The back button or the return button.
Oh, yes. A finger on the power buttons.
Every time.
What you doing now?
Male prostitutes are different than women prostitutes. Most male prostitutes are still, like women prostitutes, are still purchased by men. Women in general don't buy prostitutes. It's always one.
I hadn't even thought about that side.
In general, the people who buy prostitutes, whether they are male or female, are other men, right? Diddy hiring male prostitutes to sleep with Cassie tells me that Diddy is deriving some pleasure from that.
Please don't forget the part that he watched and got off on that.
That's what I'm saying.
That's important. It's not just, girl, go in there and do that because I don't feel like doing you.
Nah, he was getting off.
It still has a domineering, overpowering nature. Please don't forget the details.
Yeah. So I think he's bisexual. I don't think that he wants that information out. I think that's part of the reason why this settled so quickly. I don't think he wants all of his dirty laundry,
of course, not
aired out. A la Dwight Howard. You see what happened with Dwight Howard recently. Excuse me. So it's one of those things, man. And it makes me think about other stories that you've heard. Like, if he did, in fact, groom her, I want to be careful with that word groom, because from all indications, she was an adult, young adult, but an adult when they got together.
She was 19. I went back and looked at ages yesterday, but
so still impressionable, but not on the pedophile, spectrum or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I go back and I'm thinking like when Usher was young, Usher stayed with Diddy. And it's already out there. They used to sleep in the same bed sometimes. So I don't even know. Like the mind begins to wander, man. And we're gonna see some things. I fully expect Jaguar Wright to have a tell-all video in the next 2 days because she has been claiming that Diddy is the devil for like the past 10 years. You know what I'm saying? And like
send me
now
a link
there
to
seems to be
those
evidence and credence to that. So we're gonna see, man.
Yeah, I mean, once more, I'm happy once more for Cassie for being brave for one, because Puff is a rich and powerful man in his industry, right? And I'm sure he has a lot of influences, shook a whole lot of hands, and for her to come out and to say like, nah, this is not going to happen no more, or to anyone else, let me go ahead and stake my claim in. Get my money for my trauma. So Cassie, brave. And for all the people out there, saying like, man, she's out there for the money. Clearly, Puff has some shit to hide, and he don't want to go in court to bring that shit up. So there's some truth to it. You know what I'm saying?
And I pray she's protected, because one of the things that was pointed out online was she did this like in the anniversary of Kim Porter passing, and how she mysteriously passed so quickly. At first they were saying it was the same day, but it was actually on the 15th of whatever year that was. But Cassie did it on the 16th. She filed on the 16th. And I wondered to myself, was she sitting there thinking about it? And she was probably like, that probably had to be scary for her to come out and think anything could happen to me. Of course, I think they said that Kim had pneumonia, or it was something very medical focused, and it didn't have any mystery to it. But I pray that she's going to be protected, because like you said, he's powerful. And I wouldn't want her to have put herself out there and empowered others who have had, male or female, had things happen to them. I would hate for her to have to be a martyr. I want this to be a opening to empower people, not just in the Puff situation, but all over. Be like, oh, if she could do it even after a decade, you said they were together? If she could do it after a decade, I could do it if this happened to me 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when I was a child. I'm hope that it's empowering on larger levels, but especially this crew of people that may have, as you said, you don't want to say groomed, but may have been in predatory situations as it relates to Puff. I hope that this empowers them and that they can band together and protect each other.
Absolutely. And I'll say this too, just as we get off this heavy ass topic and get on to something a little more fun.
I thought you was gonna wait to the end and drop it all. You put it on them on the beginning.
I know. I you know what? I think that's better. I hate ending on heavy stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather end with something fun. But
I understand.
For those people who were saying that she's only doing this for money and she doesn't care about justice, let me just educate y'all a little bit on the legal system. You have civil court and you also have criminal court. Just because you sue somebody civilly does not mean you can also bring criminal charges against them. So Google your law stuff sometimes, man, instead of just talking on the internet. That's what people like to do. Oh, she just trying to get some money, man. She don't care.
And it opens it up better for other people when she does civil instead of criminal.
But criminal kind of has.
You could do. It opens the door so you can do both. I think with criminal, you can't end up doing civil or something like that, and it allows people to build on it better when it's civil. It's like, oh, it's almost like going through a file cabinet and be like, oh, is this on the docket? Oh, I experienced this. Let me hop on this civil suit real quick. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So
just like that's what happened with O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson was acquitted of killing Nicole Brown. I think at this point in time, we all know that nigga did that shit. But whatever. As soon as he got off, the family immediately sued him in civil court for wrongful death, and they won. I don't know how much they got, but I'm pretty sure they broke off a piece of change. So you can do both. You can do criminal and you can do civil. But enough of that nonsense. G, what else we got?
Ooh, yes. So on to.
I mean, really, G, you the one that started it because you started about your rabbit hole. I'm just saying. Anyway, go ahead.
We had to open up lively, So now that we got that out of our system for now, because I'm quite sure more news will come out in the weeks to come and months to come. So we'll be here for it. But Arya had a chance to watch the Marvels. Martian and we haven't seen it yet. She plans on seeing it later on today. I have no excitement for it. So Arya, give us your thoughts.
That's not a good intro. Yeah. That's not making me enthusiastic to go see it today.
5.5 out of 10.
Ooh, okay.
5.5 out of 10. Okay. And it hurt my heart because the character Monica Rambeau, I can't think of the sister's name that plays her. Do you know her name offhand?
Nah, but I can Google it as you.
All right, so no disrespect to that very, very, very talented actress that plays Monica Rambeau. She did her thing. The character Kamala Khan is probably the highlight of the movie. Her fangirling over Captain Marvel the whole movie was cute. I like that part. That was dope.
So and real quick, her name is Tiana Paris.
Tiana Paris, shout out to her. Very good actress. Go see it. Definitely go see it. Form your own opinions, but I feel like they missed some opportunities in the movie. I start with the good first. So the good, definitely Kamala Khan was good. The movie itself is directed by a sister. That's all. I'm like, Wale, screw me, screw you. I'm rooting for everybody black, whatever. So that was cool. I like to see sisters doing their thing. But this movie, some of the stuff I didn't like. The villain was too thin. The villain was so awe-inspiring that I don't even remember the villain's name in the movie. It's wild to me, you know. So it wasn't a bad movie. I would definitely say, excuse me, if you don't have anything else going on, go see it. You know, definitely support it. But it was like they missed for it to be a Marvel movie and to have all these great Marvel movies. Not really here recently because the last 2 Marvel movies ain't been nothing to write home about, but still in the same universe. Still you got, you know, all the Avengers movies and movies that really push the envelope forward. I feel like this one kind of fell flat. It didn't make me feel anything, and I feel like a movie has to make me feel something. There should be some type of roller coaster of emotion throughout the movie, leading up to the climax. And it just didn't do that. At no point in time did I feel like the heroes were any danger or in any danger, or that it could possibly not go the way that you expect it to go. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thoughts on it. It
felt kind of cookie cutter or something.
Very cookie cutter. Very
gotcha.
Cookie cutter. But good it could have been better. It could have been a lot better. But this is the real thing I want to talk about. So this isn't really a review. This is more so something that happened. The movie only grossed like $50 million on the opening weekend. And for y'all watching, when you have a movie, the most important weekend is the opening weekend, right? That's where you make most of your money. This movie cost something like $270 million to make. And the biggest weekend was $54 million. So this is going down as like the worst performing Marvel movie of all time. It's a lot of different reasons for that. Part of the reason, and one of the reasons I think is kind of interesting, is you have an all-female cast, which I have no problem with. You know, just do it right.
But some people do.
There you go. Some people do. I really think this is an example of Marvel not knowing their audience. Because women, there are women nerds, there are women blurs, there are women who will go, one right here, and support and see it. But if your fan base is mostly dudes, it would seem like if you're going to make a movie that's starring 3 women, that you would know that you have to knock it out the park. You kind of can't just go with the status quo. If you know what I'm saying, and I feel like they didn't get the memo on that in this movie because it was
lackluster.
It was very lackluster to say the least, man. But what do y'all think that the movie didn't perform other than, because I know y'all haven't seen it, but what reason?
I mean, to be honest with you, you hit on it. It's a specific type of man that usually buys into Marvel, culturally, and they tend to be a group that's not celebratory of anything related to women and anything related to race, and you have 2 women of color, not just women. So to me, it's that, they might try to blame it on holiday travel and things like that. But to be honest with you, you hit the nail on the head to me. And I also wonder, and this might be too much in left field because I love Lovecraft Country. And so I love Jonathan Majors. Right. And so I feel like, was this the movie that they were going to come out with? Because remember, I'm not Marvel, I'm DC. So don't hold me on names. I'm going to use Jonathan's real name, but whatever character he played in Loki, because I've been watching a few things, even though I'm not there. Whatever character Jonathan played in Loki, remember that was supposed to be like one of the next movies, and we was hyped because of how we saw him in Loki. Then the personal thing happened that it was all super alleged, and even the person that he apparently had assaulted, it all came out that it was a lot of falsehood with that. And Marvel just like snatched it from him. Like they was just like, yeah, we're not fooling with you, my dude. And I also wonder, was that more what was about to come down the pipe, and it was a scramble? You get what I'm saying? So I also, and I don't know, because like I said, Marvel people keep me honest, but that's where I feel like it was some type of Hail Mary, and then you didn't, like you said, know your audience. And it confuses me because do you guys watch DC movies even though you're Marvel?
Yeah. All of them. Yep.
Did you watch Flash?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we comic book hoes. We pretty much just comic book hoes. So if anything has to do with comic books, we gonna hoe.
So this is what bothers me about Marvel, and you guys can explain to me on here, and the people who follow you can tear me up in the comments. I don't really care. But my thing is DC doesn't treat their people like Marvel does. Jonathan Majors shouldn't have had everything ripped away from him because of that situation, especially when it came out that he was not a part of what was supposed to be so alleged. Ezra, I think is his main name, the guy who plays Flash. I'm not going to break down his laundry list of buttery bullshit that he's been into, but these are actual charges and convictions. And it was like, yeah, we already got this movie in the flow works. We just gonna go ahead and
we just go. Yeah, it's all right.
Just gonna keep going with it. You get what I'm saying? And so that's what bothers me, because now, okay, Marvel, you're looking at something that could have been a great opportunity to celebrate women, celebrate a woman of color who's behind the scenes, celebrate women of color on the scene, and the lady who plays Captain Marvel. This could have been great. It could have been great, but it wasn't, because like I said, to me, it felt like a scramble, because when I was reading different articles just in passing, it felt like there were other movies that they were lining up for that was going to involve Jonathan Majors. And then when they decide that, oh, we're washing our hands of him. Now it's like, oh, we got to figure out what we're going to do then. And let's keep it away from men, because these men is tripping right now. And it didn't work because of going back to what Arye said. You didn't pay attention to your audience.
Which is crazy to me. You're going to invest $270 million, but you're not going to think about, okay, we know just because it's going to be an all-women cast, some people just going to be mad about it. And cool, they're going to be mad because they're mad for the wrong reasons, right? But you can't afford to just mail it in like you could if that wasn't the case. If it was like an all-male cast, But,
I do think, it's. I know that a part of it could be marketing as well. Like you have an all-woman cast, right? Cool, and again, nothing wrong with that. If anything, Black Panther has showed us that an all-woman cast can actually kick some ass every time with the Adora Milaje. You know what I'm saying? Like
Wonder Woman too.
I want a show just about them, or a movie just about them. You know what I'm saying? It's all I need, right? But I think if they would have had a story, just a really good story to go along with this movie, it could have done better by at least word of mouth, because marketing wasn't even there for the movie. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, the first Captain Marvel movie was just okay. It was kind of bland, not really overly exciting. And then you have Miss Marvel, the TV series. That was cool. That was geared more towards the teens and the young adults, the YAs. So you kind of get that premise. And then you have Monica Rambeau. She popped up here and there, and the WandaVision show. So
I love that show.
Right. Now, out of those properties, right, we have one great, one division, and then two just okay. Like, where is the excitement for this movie? Like, what you gotta have something else to really bring people into that side of the universe. And then to what you were saying, RA, the big bad is unforgettable. You know, they don't work for nobody, they're not a henchman, ex-henchman, they're not a good person gone bad. It was just there's no
it's purgatory.
Right. It's there's nothing attaching us to the villain to say, you know what, I would love to see them again, or they're kind of close to like a Thanos type, Loki type of villain. You know what I'm saying? So Marvel has some explaining to do because there is a lot more wrong with this current phase of Marvel besides just the Marvels.
They missed opportunities, man. They missed opportunities. And Max, you don't care about spoilers anyway, so I'm gonna just
I'm cool with spoilers.
It's not even really a big spoiler, but it was an opportunity that they missed in the movie. If you watch, I don't know, did you see the first Captain Marvel?
Yeah,
I did, but like you said, it was kind of lackluster, so it didn't stick with me.
Right.
So the first Captain Marvel is actually the time frame of it is like the early to mid 90s, right?
Okay.
So
I thought it was the 80s. Was it the 80s?
You say what?
So I thought it was the late 80s. It wasn't the 80s?
I think it was late 80s, early 90s.
Okay, got you. Okay.
30 years ago, right? So she supposedly Captain Marvel has been off-world fighting battles in the cosmos, in other places, right? They hint in this movie that part of the reason why she was out there and that she didn't return to Earth is because that she was there was like she kind of caused something. She was trying to do something good, but end up hurting a lot of innocent people. So she's trying to atone for that, right? They, instead of building that up and making her a flawed character or making that her motivation for this movie, they kind of summarized that whole point in like 2 or 3 minutes. And I'm like, yo, you could have had an opportunity to open up the story about how guilty she feels, how many sleepless nights she has because she tried to do something good 30 years ago and end up like hurting and killing a lot of innocent people. You could have really stuck to that point and expounded on that, and that would have gave the movie more depth. That would have gave the hero,
and it would have been the emotional roller coaster that many people like yourself look for.
Because you're gonna put yourself.
I feel something if I'm gonna spend an hour and a half too. I get you.
Yeah. And they ain't do it. They ain't do it, and I'm just like, man. Like,
prime example of what took us on an emotional roller coaster this year was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I mean, damn it, that made a lot of people cry at different points throughout the entire
a lot of people
movie.
He means himself.
Me included. Yes, I'm an advocate for that. You know what I'm saying? But
get your emotions out. Don't let them lock in.
You know,
hold it in, bro.
You know, I don't need therapy. Just give me a good Marvel movie. You know what I'm saying?
A good Marvel movie with a good emotional plot, and I'm in there.
That's it. Therapy avoided. I just need that, right? But this year, you know, normally whenever Marvel comes out with like 4 to 5 movies per year, right? There's a lot of hits more than misses. So this year we had the Marvels, Quantumania, Ant-Man, and Guardians of the Galaxy. Out of those 3, only one was a hit. And this could lead to a lot of people saying there is a superhero fatigue. Do y'all believe that?
I love that phrasing, by the way, G. Superhero fatigue. I think they might be tapped out on the superheroes.
I think people are just tired of seeing the same movie over and over and over. Because I guarantee you, if instead of Marvel's coming out, if they put out the 3rd version of Deadpool 3, if Deadpool 3 came out 2 weekends ago, I guarantee you it would have did numbers at the box office. Because you know, in a Deadpool 3, you're gonna get the comedy. Because Ryan Reynolds was born to play that role. This dude is
wasn't he?
He's born to play that role. And the back and forth between him and Hugh Jackman, who plays Wolverine in it, that's gonna be worth going. They could just turn it into a buddy cop type movie, like a Rush Hour type. You know what I'm saying? Some hero stuff mixed into it, and that would be entertaining. It would have did numbers. But I don't think it's a superhero fatigue as much as people are
It's a
just
plot
tired.
fatigue.
Plot fatigue.
Perfect.
Exactly.
There we go.
Plot fatigue. We're tired of seeing the exact same movie over and over. We need something new. We need something edgy. We need something that's going to make us feel something. Or like, why not just stay at home? Which what most people did when the Marvels came out. And you might as well wait for it to come on Disney Plus.
Like and also on the same note, like there's been a lot of Disney Plus shows that came out this year. To name a few, we had Secret Invasion, Loki. We have Echo coming out next month. I think What If came out. No, that was last year. And then Secret Invasion was a huge disappointment.
I ain't even watching it, bro. And I'm a Marvel head. I didn't even watch Secret Invasion.
Right. Now, Loki, however, I'm not sure if everybody has finished Loki season 2 yet.
I haven't finished, but I'm not a spoiler. I'm not a person that's like, don't spoil it. Like, I'm not that person. Somebody is watching this saying, don't spoil it for me, but it's not me.
She lying. She gonna be at your window as soon as you spoil the G. Like,
I heard you.
Can't believe you believe what I said when I was telling my truth.
Yo, but the way that season ended, right? I would be surprised if they do away with the whole Kang dynasty thing, because season 2 of Loki ended in such a beautiful but kind of sad type of way. It kind of makes you rethink the whole premise of, is Marvel going to keep Jonathan Majors around any longer? Or
I definitely think they're not.
Yeah, a lot.
That's what my tangent was about earlier.
Yep. So when you see the rest of Loki, remember what we're saying now, because that will play back. Like, hold on, X, Y, and Z happened. So how is this going to work? You know what I'm saying? But it's going to be a sight to see how they're going to move going forward. Because as far as superhero fatigue, I don't believe it's a thing, because when you have shows like prime example, Invincible and The Boys on Amazon,
my God, when The Boys come back out?
I think next year. Next year.
But okay, this is what I want to say, and I apologize for cutting across you, G.
No, you're good.
But what The Boys is giving us is something that none of us has had before, because there wasn't now keep me honest, because you guys might know better than me. There's no backstory to it. Like I said earlier, Marvel heads, you guys tend to be really into comics, right? So you had these story plots that you could dive into in your youth that as an adult, you're enjoying seeing played out on the silver screen. Sure. And DC, we're more of animation. Our animation is fire. A lot of times we get an opportunity to experience something new, because they don't do like different multiverses. They just be like, what idea we got for Batman and the crew this week? So to me, the appeal for me personally with The Boys is, I don't know nothing about these characters. I got to learn them from scratch as an adult. Right. And that's what has me invested in it. So like in that case, there isn't superhero fatigue, because these are superheroes that are completely flawed.
Yes.
It's definitely not for children, these shows. It's flaws flying all over the place. Even the innocents are flawed. You get what I'm saying? Because they have done and to keep it real, they've done what I don't think was possible when DC and Marvel came out. And they can humanize their characters in a way that shows them from different perspectives that still applies to what's going on to society. Whereas, as you already know, especially with Marvel, a lot of what Marvel was doing was paralleling real life, but they couldn't speak to it directly. So it's about when these things came out. The Boys just came out a few years ago, when we were in this era of we say everything we want, and we said what we said, we don't apologize for it. Sorry, not sorry. We're in that era. And so we're having the opportunity to see The Boys in that era. And it's something that we don't know anything about it. Like, I'm excited about The Boys. I'm like, what are they going to do this season? You know what I mean? We saw I don't even remember the main character, the one that's supposed to be like the Captain America of
Homelander.
That dude is crazy.
He's wild, and he's so believable with his. Because did you watch Banshee? Did you watch? Did either of you watch Banshee?
Yeah, I did.
That's where he came from, and he was crazy in that. They chose properly.
Listen.
Anyway, I'm sorry, G. I had to just.
Oh no, it's all good, because Genevieve, which is like the spinoff off of that show, is also great. It's set in the same universe. Some of the same characters come into that show. And it's not just about college kids with superhero powers are in college, but it's about there's a conspiracy about why this university is there in the first place, which is developed by Vought, the company, right? So I mean, The Boys is a good example of how to subvert superheroes and make them, like as you said, like extremely flawed. And then you have this FBI cloak and dagger group trying to expose what's going on with this company, like it's perfect. And then you have Invincible on the other hand, which took a Superman or like a DC premise and then just flipped it on its head. And it's been the talk of the town for years now. And this new season, which is on right now, again, it feels more grounded, which Marvel hasn't done in a while. It's like Marvel goes for the big, flashy, spectacular, the witty jokes back and forth. But now it gets kind of stale in a sense. So now we need something different from Marvel to keep us like entertained. So hopefully Deadpool 3 will bring it. Echo what seems a little bit dark and greedy. You know, we got Kingpin back in it. That's great. We heard the script for Daredevil got scratched because it was whack. Like it wasn't what Daredevil is bringing. And then Blade has been in pre-production for 8 years now, 5-6 years now. And then that script got canceled too. So it's like, all right, Marvel, like hire us 3 so we can get just back on board again.
Man, Marvel, like stop playing, like yo, messing with us.
Stop playing. See us on the internet and tap us on the virtual shoulder.
You will keep y'all straight. We know what the people want to see.
Look at all this perspective on these screens right now.
It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous.
A whole trinity of advice right here.
Boom.
You know what I'm saying?
Boom.
Speaking of ridiculous.
Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. There you go. Bam.
Oh, I used to love me some Wonder Woman. Used to love me some Wonder Woman. Who's Batman? I'm definitely.
You Batman. Okay.
Got it. Oh, speaking of which, I didn't know this. On some random stuff, you can change your Alexa if you got one of the little Alexa microphone. Speaker joints. You can change the name of it. Because now, by default, you say, Alexa, what's the weather? Alexa, play music. You can change it to computer. I didn't know this. My 13-year-old put me onto this. He changed the name of his Alexa to computer. So it only responds to when you say computer. And he changed his name to Batman. So Alexa calls him Batman, and he talks to it like
this might answer your question. Nike is a fighting type Pokemon.
I don't know if y'all can hear that, but since I said computer, it's like it's talking like computer. What's the weather outside? You know what I'm saying? Right. Computer. Where's the Joker?
Oh, now she all silent. She's like, "Don't put me on the spotlight."
She answered. That's crazy. Apparently, the niggas in
next time you gotta do it in a Batman voice. Computer. What's the Joker?
Yo, tell me. Because we gotta talk about Buymartian.
Of course.
We got to talk.
I'm in the hot seat.
That.
We got to.
I'm a god. I said it. No, G. What's the name of that show on Netflix? Fall in the House of Usher.
Ooh.
The dude is Batman voice. I didn't know that was the voice of Batman.
Mark Hamill.
I can't hear him talk.
Mark Hamill was the voice of the Joker from the animated series.
No, not that's the Joker.
Kevin Conroy died. He wasn't in the Fall in the House of Usher.
No, not Kevin Conroy. The voice of Batman from Teen Titans. Not Teen Titans. What's the other serious Teen
Justice
Titans
League
show? Young Justice.
Oh, Young Justice.
Oh, Young Justice.
The main dude for Fall in the House of Usher. You know, the dude that's sitting down talking to the brother that played Mantis. I don't know if you remember Mantis. Anyway, he's like the patriarch of the family.
Right.
Listen to his voice and then go watch Young Justice. That's the dude who played Batman voice. So you got the voice of Batman in it. You got the Joker in it. And then you got the brother. I can't think of his name, but he played Mantis. That was a superhero show back in the 90s.
Okay.
And he also was on Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
He was. Yep. He sure was. Yep.
Crazy.
I remember that too. Mm-hmm.
Crazy. But on another note, Buymartian merch.
Yes.
Maxine herself. Max, tell us about your entrepreneurial pursuits. Tell us about Buymartian.
Gosh, do we have enough time? We've been going for an hour.
You got time.
All the things that need to be said. Buymartian is a brand that I created. I want to say it's got to be at least 2 years by now. It was inspired by Blurred's Nerds and Nertinos. I went to this festival in Durham, North Carolina called QuirkCon. It was a one and done, but it was very powerful. And as Arya can tell you, even though you haven't had a chance to have a conversation with me, G, I tend to be a very confident person. But I was in the midst of people that I realized because they were different culturally and the things that they liked in comparison to who typically is considered a nerd, it really had emotional damage that had occurred with them and their family and their friend circles. And I thought to myself, this isn't me, but I want to create a brand that empowers them to feel like, I don't like to say that I'm a nerd. I don't like to say that I'm a blurred out loud, but I want to wear things that speak it for me, right? And so I started with, like most people, with sweatshirts, like what I have on now, which you can't really see it.
Oh, sure. You got to show us that.
Can you see it?
That's
I don't know if
fire.
you see it.
I
started with like sweatshirts and t-shirts first, right? This hat also. But then it dipped into other things, like I design shoes now, you know what I mean? I can design jewelry and things, and it became more lifestyle focused, where every element of who you are as a nerd, even a passport, like if you got your passport, I even got passport covers where it can be something that I've created, or if you want me to personalize it, because my background is in advertising and graphic design. But I created Buymartian, like I said, a few years ago, out of other people's pain, I guess you could say, and just wanting to be an advocate for people who are different and don't want to apologize for being different. And it's been successful. It's been fun. I'm on this show because of Buymartian, because me and Ari have communicated about different things related to blurred stuff and comedic things. It gives me an opportunity to express myself one day, and don't hold me to this like next year or 2 years from now, because as he mentioned to you earlier, I'm also, I have real estate endeavors too, and that's really my focus, to build my legacy. But when I get some downtime to say, okay, not that my portfolio will stop, but I want my portfolio to be at a certain place, then I'll start focusing on writing a book. But as I told him recently, Buymartian, I create most of it myself. I also have a team that I collaborate with, because you can't always do everything on your own. You got to have some people delegate to sometimes. But I created, it's almost like therapy. Like, people are wearing my experiences, elements, and little pieces of my soul. Every time they buy something, they'll buy into it, and they'll be like, oh, this is so awesome. Where did the story come from? And there is a story. There's a story literally to every character, everything I'm inspired to do. And it's ongoing. I'm like the Amazon of blurred, nerdy items. I can't even just say one thing. And then I continue to get vendors as I'm communicating with people who are like, I like what you're doing. Is there anything in my arsenal that you could add to it, like from a home decor standpoint? So I pull in other things. I create things. When people are analog artists, and if you're not familiar with that phrasing, those are your people who use charcoal, paint, they sketch, but they know nothing about digital art. What I do is I usually do a licensing deal with them, where they can, at a discounted rate, get that stuff put into digital, so they can start to market themselves beyond just their paintbrushes and their sketch pens. You get what I'm saying? So it's and that's just the creative part. That's just like one portion. So it keeps me busy. You know what I'm saying? It keeps me busy. It keeps me excited to create. It keeps me excited to have this vision, and then to help people realize a vision for themselves, even if it's just to express themselves without saying a word. So I think that's enough of a gist to kind of give you a feel for what I got going on. You can ask me more questions if you feel so.
That's dope. Where did the name Buymartian come from?
I'm a Martian. I feel like astronauts are the people who do everything kind of like homogenous, which is no disrespect. They kind of just do what the masses do. And if you didn't hear what I said, not masters, masses, MASSES. Whereas I feel like Martians tend to be trailblazers. They tend to be unapologetic for their existence, you know, tend to be an alpha of being different instead of a beta of being what everyone else is. And like I said, the people that inspired it, which was an entire festival of people, they were all different in these very powerful, beautiful ways, but they didn't see themselves as such. And so, like I said before, it just made me say, this is so sad. This is so, it like literally internally made me want to cry, because that festival almost turned into an emotional, like people were on the panel crying, expressing how they were in depression because they wanted to be cosplayers, and their family and their friends joked on them. And, you know, especially in our community, joking can also be a kind of way of being affectionate, but it's not, we don't live in a world anymore where that phrasing, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. Words really do hurt. And these people were very emotionally distraught over the words that had been spoken to them and over them and behind their back about things that they just enjoyed. They were still adults functioning in life properly, but it made them feel like they were just kids that no one took seriously. You know what I'm saying? Not realizing you could make a lot of money in this. I mean, look what you guys are doing. You guys could be really out there and known and be significant for being, you know, nerds, blurs, and nertinos. And so when I decided to do this and be inspired by all those individuals, I just never stopped. I think I thought I was going to just do it for a little while. And every now and again, I'd be like, I mean, this takes a lot of time. I don't really feel like doing it. And I just keep coming back to, I got an idea. Like, yeah, what I was supposed to be doing. I was at an event yesterday and everything I was looking at was like, oh, I'm going to draw that later. I'm going to do this later. I think that's a good idea. These words would be fly on this. I took a picture of this. Like, it was just all of these different things. I can't stop, won't stop. Puff Daddy, bro.
That's dope. What are you most proud of when it comes to the blurred space?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was sitting here acting silly. All right. What'd you say, G?
No, I was asking, what are you most proud of when it comes to our blurred space? Is it the people? Is it the innovation, the confidence, the bravery?
I would have to say brave is not the word that I want to say, because it's more that maybe bold. Bold is more the word that I would say. I think that those who are already bold, like myself, are giving other people permission, or giving not even permission, like they're telling them what to do. They're throwing their hand back and saying, listen, I'm bold, you can do it too. Come up here with me and be bold together. And then it's almost like we're becoming this linear thing where we're becoming this big wall of boldness, saying we can go in any space we want to, and we can create our own space and leave you out for a change. And we know who we're leaving out. Well, and that means a lot to me. Like during the pandemic, I got to know, and I'm so sorry, Blurred Over, if I'm messed it up, because I don't know. I haven't been on his page in a while, but it's a guy from Alabama.
Oh, Blurred Over, yes.
Blurred Over, I did get it right. Okay, but I've interviewed with him before. Yeah. And so because of that, I should know it just like this. But he was one of the first people. I don't usually do interviews. Like this is probably only the fourth one I've ever done since I've had my company. And to me, like if anyone doesn't follow him, they definitely should, because he's the boldest of the bold. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he has just trailblazed this way for people to be inspired to be bold in every aspect of their life. Not just to cosplay, not just to discuss things like this openly, from society to comics to Marvel to DC to things like The Boys that are newer things. He has said, you don't have to apologize for your existence. Look at what I'm doing. Look at who you could be. Look at what you can be. And I think he has a nonprofit now. Like I said, I haven't followed him and Blurred Over. I'm sorry. I've been so busy. But he's doing it, and he's showing how it can maneuver into other things. You know what I'm saying? And that boldness is different from just being brave. Brave is almost, I feel like, centralized to self, and boldness is something that it kind of expands itself into other people and making sure that they can feel like they can do the same. So bold is the word I would go with.
Dope. Bars, just dope. Bars on top of bars, and some more bars. Bars.
Yo,
barred up.
We appreciate you. Tell the people where they can get the Buymartian merch.
In almost every social media space, I have locked down at BUYMARTIAN at Buymartian. So that's YouTube, that's TikTok, that's Instagram. Put that in, and you're probably gonna find me. And then I have multiple different Buymartian things because it's so Amazon level big that I had to start breaking it up into different places.
Okay.
But at Buymartian is where you can find me on social media. The website is buymartian.com, BUYMARTIAN.com. I try to keep it simple and consistent. Remember, my background is in advertising, so we weren't going to be like _2347. Like, I wanted to keep it.
What kind of spam mess is this? Like, what is this?
I wanted to keep it just real simple for people to just, even if they like, I can't quite remember. How was it? And I want Google to fill it in for them. I've been making sure I do enough keywords and stuff like that so it can be crawled easily. But yeah, I'm in all those spaces, and feel free to follow and, DM me and ask me questions about the brand. And like I said, I do special orders. It's a little bit extra than just going ahead and taking what I put out there on my own, but it's possible.
Dope.
Well, we want to thank everybody for watching this episode of the Geek Salad Podcast. Shout out to you, Matt.
And gals.
Thank you for being on. Put in the comments, y'all, what were your thoughts of the Marvels? Are you going to go see it? Did you not see it? We had a comment before we get out of here, too. Can you put that back on the screen, G?
Let me see right here.
So Corey Floyd, shout out to you, says Marvel's writing has been horrible as well as execution. I did a packed panel on this. I agree, man. The writing, it's all about writing. I don't think there's any superhero fatigue. I really just think people want good story. People want well-developed characters. You gotta make me feel something. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make me feel something, or it's going to be a meh for me. All right.
I have a quick question. Are they affected by the writer's strike right now, or was that already in the works and so that doesn't affect them?
Yeah, I want to say I'm sure the movie was done before the strikes happened. Okay. I think what did impact it though, the actor strike and being able to market it.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, so that might have been another thing.
It's a confluence of things that hurt the Marvel.
Ooh, big word of the day. Confluence.
Yes, somebody go get their dictionary because I know you didn't know what he said. Using my 73-cent words on the podcast. Oh, I see you used your good finger because that other one's messed up. Let's talk about it.
You see it? I heard my finger doing. I don't even know how I heard it, but it's hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Pull it all the way out. Sorry, you was wrapping up. My
wake
bad.
Up with like random broke things in our bodies, man.
That's
like
it, man. That's it. That's the life we lead. We out here living raw and living dangerous, man. You never know. You could hurt a digit. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
All right, though. But yo, thank y'all for watching again, Matt. Thanks for being on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I'll be back another time. I promise.
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
you said
indeed.
it, man. You said it.
That's right.
I'll be back. Ain't no thing. All this virtual technology. How could I not?
There we go. Boom. Magic of tech.
All right, y'all. Y'all be good.
You too. Thanks, guys, again. Nice meeting you, G.
Thank you. And we'll see you again. Hopefully.
All right. Take care.
Peace.
Bye.